Am I going to be on video? Yay! Hello, famous world.
Whoa, I'm coming from the other side. And just gonna stare at me the whole time. I walk this way and I come this way.
Hey, there's my pencil. You're not wave at yourself. Quit waving at the camera.
If you walk that way,
Yay, it's me!
it's gonna look at you. Hello.
We'll get a chance to say hi to the camera. I have to record myself.
Yay!
All right. It's a very quick warm-up today. Put today's date down. After you've drawn a line, one sentence, grammatical corrections, and I've got a gimme. Well, sit down here. I hope everybody gets ideally, we only take a couple minutes on this. Snacks out while you're doing your warm-up, if you have them. How it brought back memories. I do need to first one, yes. Please. Try to finish up in about another minute or so. All right. If you didn't get a chance to finish, go ahead and finish as we go over this. I had students in my last class get all the grammatical corrections right. Let's see how many of you did this time. It would be more nice to eat dinner, see a movie, and return early. One possible way to correct this, but not the only right way, would be capitalize the first letter of the sentence. More nice? No, nicer. And then we have items in a series or a list. We separate those with a comma. Okay? Now this comma is optional. Okay? So count that right whether you have it or not. And don't forget about your ending punctuation. Grant?
No, instead of the commas, I put and. Like, it would be nicer to eat there and see a movie and drink early.
Okay, traditionally you only use and one time, okay? And you would use it before the last item. But I see what you're saying. Somebody was speaking it, maybe they were thinking out loud and they kept adding to the list like my kids do with their Christmas list. And this, and that. Or like my wife does with the job list. Do this, and then do that, and then, oh, excuse me. Now I hope everybody, as we bring our review of good reader behaviors over here by Kaya to a close, I hope everybody remembers my favorite strategy. And that would be what, Oscar? Rereading. Rereading. It's how somebody like me, who's not a good reader. Now I will wish I was like Marin and was a fantastic reader. Okay, but I am a struggling reader. So this is basically how I got through school and how I get through life, is using these strategies as I read and rereading. Okay, remember, never guess on a test. Reread. When your understanding breaks down and you stop thinking, maybe you should react by rereading. Okay? All right. I'll flip. I see some of you are still writing like Kylie. That's fantastic. Making corrections. By the way, how many people got all of these correct? That you didn't miss any on your grammar corrections? Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. We've got a special treat for you today. Because you guys get the privilege, you'll always be able to look back and remember this day because you guys are Mrs. Valentine's first teaching day ever. So, okay, geez, looks like they're excited. So this is what I want you to do as we get prepared for Mrs. Valentine. She's going to do her first lesson, okay? And what I need you to do is put your journals away. And as you do that, come over here and get a copper literature book and take it back to your seat. Just leave them shut on your desk. I like how Natalie and Maren are following directions. They got their books. They cleared their desks off and they're waiting quietly. Fantastic. I see Jason Lewis is joining them. All right, boys and girls. We've been looking over here at preparing for the PSSAs. Been talking a lot about that. We're going to take a little break today from that for just a class period or two. And Mrs. Valentine's going to be talking with you about a different question you're going to try to answer. So be on your best behavior. I'll turn it over to you, Mrs. Valentine.
Okay, so we are at also how do readers make text like connections. So we're going to be doing that using pairing and contrasting techniques. So can anyone tell me what does it mean? What do I want contrast something? Well, because you want to look for similarities, perfect. Contrast it. And when you want to look for differences, great. So we are going to use those strategies and apply it to two stories today. One is called Alone in the Nets, and the other one is called The South Pole. So you guys can turn to page 232. Okay, so we are going to listen to the story as well as reading along at the same time. But first I'd like to just kind of get some context for what do you guys notice immediately on the page? What can we learn about the story before we have anything? Like soccer. Who's playing soccer? Kids? Girls? Yep. Okay, how about our title? Alone in the Nets. What do we think that could possibly mean? Is anyone familiar with soccer terms?
Well, the goalie might be alone while everyone's running up the field, or alone as in someone on the team is being picked on and doesn't want to the rest of the teammates don't want that particular person to be on the team.
Both really good predictions. So yeah, if you look at it, we do see that goalie net in the background, right, of the picture? So alone in the nets, that probably means the goalie. You're right. So we're going to be looking at a story of a goalie playing soccer. What else can we see from the way the poem is written? It looks kind of funky, doesn't it? What do we notice? What are some examples of maybe how the words are written? That's interesting. That's pretty cool. I've never seen a poem do that. What else do we notice? Are all the lines the same length? No. Is there any bolded words? Yes. Are there any underlined words? Yeah. Alright. While we listen to this, I want you guys to pay attention to how does the sound of the poem and the speaker match up with a different way that it is written. Okay.
Alone in the Nets by Arnold Adolph. Alone in the Nets. I am alone, of course, in the nets on this cold and raining afternoon, and our best defending fullback is lying on the wet ground out of position. Half the opposition is pounding down the field, and their lead forward is gliding so fast she can just barely keep the ball in front of her sliding foot. Her cleats are expensive, and her hair bounces neatly like the after girls in the shampoo commercials. There is a big grin on her face. Now, in this frozen moment, on this moving world through space, is the right time to ask, why am I here, just standing in my frozen place? Why did I get up on time this morning? Why did I get up at all? Why did I listen to the coach and agree to play this strange position in a real game in a strange town on this wet and moving world? Why is it raining? Why is it raining so hard? Where are all of our defenders? Why do all of our players do all of the falling down? Why am I here? But frozen moments can unfreeze, and I can stretch and reach for the ball flying to the corner of our goal. I can reach and jump and dive into the space between my outstretched hands and the outside poles of the nets. My fears evaporate like my sweat in this chilling breeze. And I can move with this moving world and pace my steps like that old movie High Noon Sheriff in his just right time. That grinning forward gets her shot away too soon, and I am there on my own time in the air to meet the ball and fall on it for the save. I wave my happy ending wave and get up. The game goes on.
Yay! I was pretty happy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the very beginning. What are some feelings going on in this poem right at the very beginning? What is that goalie thinking?
He's like really nervous.
Really nervous. Why is she so anxious and nervous?
Because I guess she doesn't get a lot of action.
Okay. She says at one point that she doesn't know why she's in this position that she's never played. If I had never played goalie before, I would surely be anxious in this kind of situation. So let's describe the scene. What's happening right as in this moment of frozen time?
It was raining really hard, and she was confused and kind of afraid of the ball, I guess.
Is the ball coming towards her? Moving away? Coming towards her. Yes. So what does that do for her importance in this moment? She kind of a key player here. She keeps asking, why is it my teammates that fall down? And this defender is running straight at me with the ball. Have you guys ever experienced one of those moments where time kind of just stands still and everything comes into really clear focus? I know I have. Really important moments. So that's what's kind of happening to her. So there's a frozen moment in the moving world through space. Everything stops for just that second. And she kind of takes in what's happening. But then suddenly it keeps going. So what's that catalyst that keeps moving it forward? What happens?
She keeps on blocking the ball from moving.
Yes. So she saves the ball, right? So how does her mood and her feelings shift from this very anxious, worried moment where she's questioning herself? Why did I get up on time this morning? Why did I get up at all? Suddenly there's this big shift, right? Can you describe this new shift, this new attitude? Can we get some? Come on, guys. Other participants? I'd love to call in three all day. So she starts off really tense, really in the moment, and then time keeps moving forward, and now she's rushing at the ball, and she catches it. When we look back maybe at the text, that'll give us some context to us for how she's feeling in that moment. So what are some words to describe that moment? Let's see. I can reach and jump and dive into the space between my outstretched hands and the outside folds of the nets. My fears evaporate. I can move with this moving world and pace my steps. Let's see. The grinning forward gets her shot away too soon, and I'm there, in the air in the ball. And I fall on it before it's safe. That last line is key too. What are some new feelings that we're getting besides tense and anxious? She's encouraged. Perfect.
She's happy.
She's happy. She just caught it. She saved the day. They didn't get the goal.
She's confident of herself.
She's confident. I love that word. She was doubting herself before with all those questions, right?
She's proud of herself.
Proud of herself. I'd be proud of myself in that moment. How about you guys? Yeah, definitely. You made the game-saving win. Yeah. Okay, so I asked you guys to really pay attention to those words that kind of look interesting on the page. So her hair bounces. The actual letters move up and down. Did you guys notice anything in the way the spoken word was in correlation to the words on the page?
Like one is on the first page. There's hard and there's like real. And like when she spoke those, she like word them out like really slowly.
Yes.
Not like
There's extra spaces in between the letters. You don't usually put spaces in between the letters of a word. Usually it's just between the words themselves. So what does that do? If she really put an impact on those words visually as we're looking So how about, let's look at a couple of them. So how about hard? See, why is it raining so hard? What could that mean? Why does she want to bring attention to the word hard? Good point. It gives you some visualization, right, of the setting. Were you gonna say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's really good. So you're visualizing. You're actually creating a picture in your mind now, right? You can see this game is happening. What else? What else could you describe as hard for her?
Like all of the other things that are hard for her, like being like in the goal for the first time and like having to face like all the problems she's having.
I like that. So it's not just the setting. It's also how she's feeling. It's also the conflict. That's good. How about, let's see, on the next page, that happens to the word space as well. There are actually spaces in between the letters of space. So how about that word? Why would she choose to pick that word out of the poem to emphasize? Maybe it's over here? You guys can try. You can always say something and we'll work it out. Oh, come on, guys. I don't want to pick them randomly. You've answered a lot so far. I'm very impressed with your text reading skills. I want to make sure everybody's got this, though. Okay. I don't know your name.
I'm Samantha.
Samantha. Okay. So why would you say the word space is important? And the way that she puts emphasis on it.
Well, give it emphasis because it's like the way that you take a ball and like space is like where you
Yes. So again, you're visualizing your scene. That can give you a sense of she feels very small. Well, there's this space all around her that she has to try and fill. That's really good. I like that. Any other reasons why space might have an extra impact? Yeah? Thinking of the actual space? Space is huge. Yeah. How about space and time? Suddenly the moment is frozen in time. And now she has to fill this space of time with her actions. All good stuff. Were there any other words that you guys wanted to focus on that you thought were really important to our story?
It underlined the word evaporate.
Ooh, evaporates. That's a good one. Good vocab term. So you can see on the side that evaporate means disappear like vapor. So that can really give you some context for how her fear was so important in her mind, so there. And suddenly it doesn't just leave her, it evaporates. It's just gone in a moment.
My name is Josh.
Feel body as well.
Okay. Sweat evaporates. And you get some really good descriptive words, like this chilling breeze. That could also give you some more clues to your setting. Really good, guys. Okay. So now we're going to focus on the next story. So you want to turn forward a couple pages to 229. We're going to look at the Southpaw. Okay, so looking at this one, let's do the same thing. What are some context clues that you can get before we ever read this? What are you looking at? Yep, page 229. Okay, so some younger baseball players. Good. What else do we have? Does anybody have a title? Does anybody know what a Southpaw is? I didn't know at first. Mr. Floyd had to tell me.
Connor and Hunter should know. You guys were there when we were talking about it this morning.
We were?
It's either it's someone that like either bats or throws left-handed.
Perfect. Yes. So, southpaw means your left hand. So
many, is anybody in here left-handed? One, two, three. I'm just interested, how many of you guys played soccer? We got a lot of, okay, hands down. How many of you are baseball players who would be an expert for Miss Valentine? One, two, or softballs, baseball. Very good. Okay.
Alright. You guys probably have a little bit more background knowledge than I did. I never played soccer or softball growing up, so if there were some words in here, like talking about players and things like that, I was like, I don't know what that is. I need to look that up. So, okay. So this story, as you can see, is written in a cool format. It's almost like a letter format. We have Dear Richard and we have Dear Janet. So Richard and Janet are our two speakers today. So what I would like you guys to do is with your shoulder partner, one of you is going to be Janet and one of you is going to be Richard. Doesn't matter if you have two guys or two girls, just pick one of the sides.
Samantha and Caroline.
And then, hold on just a second. And then what you're going to do, if you're reading the part that says Dear Richard, that's Janet's part. If you're saying Dear Janet, that's Richard's part. So I want you to go back and forth between each letter. And there's more on the next couple pages. And I really want you guys to focus on a couple things. One, first off, the tone, the mood. How are these people feeling? I also want you to look at the language, okay? And look at things like their PS at the end of the letter. They always say something. Or how do they sign off their name? Or what kind of words are they using? Okay? And then I also want you guys to look for anything that just pops out to you as a really important detail for knowing, like, looking at this story and knowing what's the theme of it, and what's the lesson that we should take from this. Alright? Go for it.
That'll start with you. Dear Richard. Unfriendly letter, not a friendly letter, huh? So you can make up. That's. Oh, yeah. Much of a friendly letter, we call it an unfriendly letter, huh? Although they did call it that. If you're done, go ahead and turn back to the title page so that we can look around and see if it's done.
You can. Always have each
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Okay. What are your first impressions of that story? It's funny. You like it? Okay. So can I get a description maybe of who are our two characters? Who are you? Baseball players. What else are they? Used to be friends. Why do you say used to be friends? Interesting. What do they argue about? So Janet wants to know baseball team. What's the problem? Why not? She's a girl. I take very fun stuff. So, in the last class, someone actually pointed out the fact that he might be judging her a bit on her baseball talent based on the fact that she's a girl. Do you think that has any correlation?
Yes.
Yes. Well, what? No. Is just because she's a girl, does that mean she's a bad ball player?
No.
No. What are some facts that you can actually pull out of the test that shows that she's a good ball player? Pitches, which is well.
She has a 345 average.
Okay.
I think she's on the because it just kind of picks up in the middle of nowhere and ends up in the middle of nowhere.
Nice. And so,
nothing about
well, I think we can assume that our pitcher, who's our pitcher in the story?
I'm guessing Janet.
Janet. She says, I pitch. Janet. Dear Richard, I pitch. So, I think our pitcher, the South Pole, is Janet. Again, it does pick up right in the middle of your argument. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I think we could definitely one of that would fit and I think what we're talking about.
So you would like to see maybe their friendship beforehand,
Yeah,
and then we get the argument. But then what happens after this? Are they still arguing about the end of it? Almost, kind of.
Well, it was kind of confusing because Richard kept saying to wait, and you couldn't see like what was happening when they were actually in person. So when they started to become friends again,
Right, so we just get their letters back and forth, right? We don't actually get to see them in person. That might have been nice to see how they interact in person.
Well, I have a mark for like the plot story thing at the very beginning. I first thought that Janet used to play on the team because in the letter from Richard says no girl has ever played on the baseball team, so that wording kind of made me think that she used to play, but she did something wrong or bad that won't play anymore.
Could be that. Could be maybe that she just plays baseball or softball in her free time with their friends and they know that. I don't know though. He definitely is not allowing her on his team though. We definitely say that from our context. So, what else? What about this progression from they were friends, now they look like they were about their friends anymore. We can see that from your former friend, Janet. How she signs off that way. But what about how that changes? Is she still your former friend Janet by the end? Just Janet. And then what's the very, very last one? Yeah, your friend. So let's talk about that progression. How did they get from one place to the other?
Well, at first they were like really mean to each other because Richard wouldn't let Janet on his baseball team because no girls played on it. And then throughout the letters, Richard kept on like saying how like most of his teammates were getting hurt or got like something, and that he started to ask Janet if she wanted to play on the team, but not pitch, just like different, and then she wouldn't take it until she brought up, I think it's
Marilyn?
Marilyn Jackson, and then I guess that's like really good with them.
I think it's just one of her friends. So she brings up all these people. Susan Riley, Marilyn Jackson, Ethel Hahn.
I have a question.
They're all girls. Are kind of some old names. Janet, Richard, Susan. Not quite sure when the story was written. Maybe we could substitute it for like Molly, or Mary, or Jessie. We could substitute for some of your names. But yes, they're all girls. It's a great name. So, what does that, the fact that they're all girls, have for the story? She's bringing in all of these friends to substitute in for the players that have chicken rocks, or just got our tonsils out, or have violin lessons. But they're all girls. What does that mean for Richard?
That he rather has to forfeit or that like she's kind of forcing him to let go of him too because since he doesn't have a team, he can't really play, so he has to forfeit maybe his entire season or just a game.
Right.
I don't know.
So I think he'd rather let some girls on his team, right? Because I mean, we've got some pretty awful numbers in here. Sorry about your 12-game losing streak. 12-0. That's pretty. go. So, yes, but then what does she say at the end? Someone touched on this earlier. She says, I'm going to bring all these girls onto your team. And he says, please, not Marilyn Jackson. So what does she say in return? There you go. She's willing to compromise, right? But at the same time, she's not willing to play another position that she doesn't actually know. She doesn't want to be an outfielder. She doesn't want to be a catcher. She's a pitcher. Dear Richard, I pitch. Jim. Okay, so that's really good, guys. So what would you say are some themes or some lessons that you learned from this story?
Okay. Just because you're a girl doesn't mean you can't play on the boys team.
Yes.
Sometimes when the boys part makes some compromises.
But compromise is also pretty good, right? He's not going to start winning these games. There's that. He won't be losing anymore. What are some other things? What can we learn from this? Compromise is good. Girls are not terrible baseball players. Girls. There is that boys that are terrible baseball players. How about friends? How should we deal with our friends? Is there a lesson to be learned with friendship? Treat them nicely. Treat them nicely. Not really much got done when they were treating each other awfully, calling each other names. Neither was really getting what they needed, right? He has all these players that just left and needed players to play them. She also wants to play baseball. By the end of it, they both got what they wanted, right? By compromising. So treat your friends nicely. Okay, so can I have a volunteer, two volunteers actually, hand out papers? I see some really good things happening. What's the first thing you guys do when you get a paper?
Your name.
All right, it's your name. Okay, guys, so as those last couple papers are getting handed out, you guys have done some Venn diagrams before, right? So can you tell me quickly how does this work? What happens on the outside of the circles?
There. But grass there.
Grass. So what goes through the differences on the outside? So what happens in the middle of the circles? There. Similarities. Okay. So we're going to go through softball and alone in the nets. I'll give you guys a choice. Which one do you want to start with? Alone in the nets or softball? Alone in the nets. Alone in the nets. I heard that one a lot. Okay. We're going to start with alone in the nets. So if you remember back to our text, we're going to flip to alone in the net. Alone in the nets. Okay. That is our second goalie. Okay. So genre. What is genre?
Like, what the,
Format?
yeah.
What is the type of writing that we're looking at? So what is the type of writing we're looking at? What is this? Poem. Perfect. problem of the story that ultimately gets resolved?
The girl was being bullied.
Okay, she's new to being bullied. What else?
She's like not exactly sure how to like take everything in.
Okay. She's nervous. She's tense. Anxious.
She is down in her self-esteem. She's down in herself, like being a bully and wondering why she was in this position.
Yeah, she's not very confident about being bullied, right? Okay, let's put that as our problem, but really any of these things you guys are saying, if you can support it, you can write that down, alright? Alright, so she's not confident about being bullied. So we mentioned this before, what's her kind of mood? What are the feelings that she's feeling? Anxious.
Not confident.
Not confident. Let's do one more. Fear? Fearful. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so then our theme, our lesson should be learned in this one. We didn't talk about this earlier, so let's see what you guys come up with.
Don't always doubt yourself.
Don't doubt yourself.
Go get your feelings taken over.
And here's your paper. I like all these. Here's another one. Theme, lesson to be learned, don't doubt yourself. Ooh, adapting situation. That's good, I like that. Alright, I'm just gonna sum all of that up, all those are really good, and say, be confident in yourself. Does that work? Okay, moving on to South Paul. What kind of genre is this? This is a little bit different than a poem. Fiction, okay. What else?
Letters, like
Letters, so it's fiction, but specifically letters. What's our problem in South Paul? Jan wants to play baseball, but
Richard doesn't want to play.
Richard doesn't want her on his team. Okay. Mood, feelings. What do we got going on between these two people and their letters? It's just somebody who has They're arguing. What kind of feelings is that generating? They're calling each other names. Arguing. Angry. I like that. Are there any others? Frustrated. Do one more. Tense. Tense. That's good. Okay, and so what's the lesson to be learned here?
Be nice to your friends.
Be nice to your friends. That's a good one. Here's your lesson. Maybe what did they have to do by the end of the story? He didn't want girls on his team. He also liked girls on his team. Compromise. That's the key word. Let's sum that up. Being nice to each other and compromising. Let's just sum that up as friends need to compromise. sports. Author's purpose. You have the three purposes that you've learned about: to inform, to entertain, to persuade. What do you guys think is this one?
Like to inform.
To inform could be. And I did learn a little bit about soccer and baseball. I will say it's in the terms. Entertain. Why do you think it's entertaining?
Because the book that the purpose of modeling that in softball and game.
How would you say it's entertaining?
Because it was funny like people.
Okay, so you thought it was funny. You were laughing a bit. How about Alone in the Nest? Is that entertaining? Yes. How so? Did you get your heart racing? Did you feel like you were in the net there? Did you get some good visual imagery going? Yeah, I could see myself there. I've never been a goalie before. That could have been me. All right. And last one, point of view. So we have our point of views over by the door. You guys remember? So how about these two? We've got letters written to each other, and we've got a poem. Are there any clues to tip you off there? Is it first person or is it third person?
First person.
First person. Why do you say that?
Because it has like
I. So your trigger word is immediately if they say I, you know it's first person. Yeah.
Yes, and Ashley, notice our posters. That's great. Beautiful. I have my laser looking right there in front of her.
Perfect. Okay, guys, we have just a couple minutes left. Your other sheet of paper. Okay. So this is your homework right here. What I'd like you to do is write in a paragraph, full sentences, full complete sentences, at least 2 similarities and 2 differences that we described. And then you can use your Venn diagram to help you out for those. Alright? If you want to get started, that'd be great. And then you guys have to do some homework. So, thank you guys for being a wonderful class. I thought you did very well.
Let's give Miss Valentine a hand. You guys can put your books back. There you go.
Ashley, I'm taking